Osho, The Messiah, Volume 2, Reflections on Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, given at the Osho Commune International, Pune, India. Discourse number 22.
Commentaries by Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh on Khalil Gibran's The Prophet. Beloved Bhagwan, and some of you have called me aloof and drunk with my own aloneness, and you have said, he holds counsel with the trees of the forest, but not with men. He sits alone on hilltops and looks down upon our city. True it is that I have climbed the hills and walked in remote places. How could I have seen you save from a great height or a great distance? How can one be indeed near unless he be far? And others among you called unto me, not in words, and they said, Stranger, stranger, lover of unreachable heights, why dwell you among the summits where eagles build their nests? Why seek you the unattainable? What storms would you trap in your net? And what vaporous birds do you hunt in the sky? Come and be one of us. Descend and appease your hunger with our bread, and quench your thirst with our wine. In the solitude of their souls they said these things. But were their solitude deeper, they would have known that I sought but the secret of your joy and your pain, and I hunted only the larger selves that walk the sky. But the hunter was also the hunted. For many of my arrows left my bow only to seek my own breast, and the flyer was also the creeper. For when my wings were spread in the sun, their shadow upon the earth was a turtle. And I, the believer, was also the doubter. For often have I put my finger in my own wound, that I might have the greater belief in you and the greater knowledge of you. And it is with this belief and this knowledge that I say, you are not enclosed within your bodies, nor confined to houses or fields. That which is you dwells above the mountain and roves with the wind. It is not a thing that crawls into the sun for warmth, or dig holes into the darkness for safety, but a thing free, a spirit that envelops the earth and moves in the ether. If these be vague words, then seek not to clear them. Vague and nebulous is the beginning of all things, but not their end. And I fain would have you remember me as a beginning. Life, and all that lives, is conceived in the mist, and not in the crystal. And who knows but a crystal is mist in decay?
And some of you have called me alone and drunk with my own aloneness. And you have said, he holds counsel with the trees of the forest, but not with men. This is the way all the mystics have been misunderstood. By the people who are fast asleep, who do not know themselves, but are very eager to judge others. Every mystic is bound to be condemned by the masses as aloof. And drunk with his own aloneness. But to be aloof and to be drunk with your own aloneness is what meditation is all about. Be in the world, but don't be of it. Be with people, but don't let them become part of you. When Zunaid, one Sufi mystic, went to see his master for the first time, his family was on the one hand crying, on the other hand was feeling proud that one of their son is going in the search of truth. The whole town has gathered to say him goodbye and to give him all their blessings. But they were sad also that he was going, and perhaps he may not return again. So their joy and their sorrow were a mixed phenomenon. They had tears in their eyes, but those tears were not of misery. There was sadness, but there was joy also. It is very rare that someone goes in search of truth, devotes his whole life to it. He was naturally thought to be their pride, to be their glory. And when he reached Junaid in the forest, the master looked at him and said, "You can come in, but leave the whole crowd out." Junaid looked back because he was alone. There was no crowd. He looked back, there was nobody. He said to the master that, "I have come alone. I have left the crowd far away on the boundary of my village." The master said, "Don't look behind, but close your eyes and look within. The crowd is there." Junaid closed his eyes and was surprised. All the people he had left behind, friends, mother, father, brother, neighbor, they were all present there. Although it was only a memory now, but the mind was full of the memory of the crowd that he has left behind. He opened his eyes and asked forgiveness. He said he is very new on the path. He does not understand its language. You are right. I am not alone. My head is full of the crowd I have left behind. The master said, "Then wait outside the gate. However long it takes, the day you feel the crowd has dispersed from your mind too, you can come in. But remember, you cannot deceive me." Junaid waited outside almost for 1 year. It is so difficult to get rid of your thoughts. It is very easy to leave the crowd and go to the forest. But the real problem is not the crowd outside you. The real problem is the crowd within you, which will go with you to the forest. You will not be alone. Your memories will surround you. And as far as mind is concerned, they are as real as the real people outside. But he was a man of great patience. He sat outside the door where people leave their shoes and go to see the master. Having nothing to do, he used to polish the shoes of the people who have left them outside. That became his meditation. He became so concentrated, so deeply involved in cleaning and polishing the shoes. Slowly, the crowd faded away. And that blessed day came when he looked inside and there was no one. But before he could enter the temple, the master was standing behind him, and he said, I congratulate you. You were patient enough. Not only patient enough, but you managed to create a device of meditation of your own. And just now I became aware that the crowd is gone, all the noise is gone. Now I will take you with myself inside the temple with great respect. You have attained aloofness and you have learned the art of being aloof. Now, even if you go to the marketplace, you will still remain aloof. You will still remain aloof. Because once a person has tasted the wine of aloneness, he cannot be lost. That taste is so sweet, so transcendental, that everything in the world becomes, in comparison to it, almost illusion, a hallucination. But the masses cannot understand it. But without being aloof and without being drunk with your own aloneness, there is no beginning. Beginning of the great pilgrimage that will bring you to yourself. And you have said, he holds counsel with the trees of the forest, but not with man. It has been observed for thousands of years that mystics feel closer to the trees, closer to the mountains, closer to the rivers, even closer to the animals, but not with men. Because man is the only sick animal on the earth. His psychology is beclouded. His mind carries junk. His senses are dull. If you say something, he hears, but he does not listen. And although in the dictionaries both the words mean the same thing, but not in existence. Hearing is a simple phenomenon. Just because you have ears, you hear. Listening is a profound change. When you hear without any thoughts in your mind, in utter silence, then hearing becomes listening. Otherwise, whatever is said to you, you hear it, but your thoughts get mixed with it. They interpret it according to their own conditioning. One night it happened, Gautam Buddha has told his disciples that the last thing and the first thing in the morning has to be meditation. Begin the day with meditation as the sun rises. Rise to the heights of meditation, of silence. And as the sun sets, go deep into meditation, in your own inner depths, where even sun rays cannot reach. This way you will know your heights and your depths. A man who knows his heights and his depths becomes complete. But this was a routine thing, so Buddha need not repeat it every day. He simply used to say, when he gave his evening sermon and the sun was setting and darkness was descending, rather than saying go and meditate, he will say, now is the time to do the last thing before you go to sleep. Disperse. That night, a thief was also in the congregation and a prostitute. They all heard the same words. Now the darkness is descending, go and do the last thing before you go to sleep. All the sannyasis went to meditate, and the prostitute suddenly remembered that this man is certainly a magician. How he has discovered my profession. That the darkness is descending, go now. Do the last thing before you go to sleep. And the thief said, my God, I was thinking nobody knows me here, and this man, and there were almost 10,000 sannyasis, and the thief was hiding in the crowd. How he has managed to know about me. It is true, darkness is descending, and this is the time of my profession. I should do it first before I go to sleep. Next day in the morning, Buddha said that you hear the same words, but you interpret it according to your own mind. This is not listening. Listening is when your mind does not interpret, then does not interfere, stands out of the way and lets the words reach directly to the heart, because the heart does not know any interpretation. It simply has one capacity, and that capacity is of recognition. If something is true, it recognizes it as true. If something is wrong, it recognizes it as wrong without any deliberation, without any thinking. Just as you open your eyes, if it is light, there is no question of deciding. You know, you recognize. If it is darkness, there is no question of thinking again. You recognize. The heart has an inbuilt capacity to recognize the truth. But the mind comes in between and does not allow things to reach to the heart. Psychologists say today that almost whatever you hear is 80% changed by your mind. It is not a small percentage. And with the 80% of it changed, the 20% also is in a different context. It has lost its old context. Its meaning cannot be the same. Hence, the mystics feel it easier to talk to the trees or with the animals or with the birds St. Francis, one of the most authentic man Christianity has produced, he used to talk to the animals. He will come to the bank of a river and he will call to the fishes, "Listen, I am here." And the fishes will jump out of the water to greet him. And this has been observed by thousands of people. He will go to a tree, hold the tree as if a friend holds the hand of another friend, and will talk with the tree. People used to think that he is a little insane. This is nonsense, talking to the trees. But now, modern research about trees says that trees are more sensitive than you are. Of course, their sensitivity has a different dimension. If a woodcutter comes with the idea of cutting a certain tree, that tree goes into a nervous breakdown. And now we have developed machines, something like cardiograms, which are attached to the tree. And it has baffled the scientists that the man has not said anything that he is going to cut a certain tree, but he has only the idea. But the idea in some mysterious way is transferred to the tree without even spoken. And the cardiogram graph, which was going very smooth, suddenly becomes disturbed The tree is freaking out. And the gardener comes to water the same tree. And even before he has reached the tree, the cardiogram becomes even more smoother, more symmetrical. A friend is coming. It seems trees are sensitive to your inmost thoughts. There is no need to say. They understand. They listen to the subtle vibrations in your mind. Certainly, soon the whole science will be clear, but as I see it, every thought is nothing but a vibration. And you are radiating, broadcasting certain vibrations around you. Because people are dull, their minds are retarded, they have thick skulls, those vibrations don't reach to them. It happened in Switzerland after the Second World War. A man got shot in his head. The bullet was removed, but as they removed the bullet, a strange phenomenon started happening. The man became sensitive to the nearest radio station. Without any radio, he was listening the music, the morning news, and he had no way to turn it off. He was going crazy. From the early morning till late night, he was continuously listening the broadcast. He told to his nurses and doctors, and they won't believe, they thought the man has gone mad. But he said, just please give me a chance to prove. You can keep a radio somewhere in the hospital fixed on the nearest radio station, and I will speak what is being broadcasted, and you can listen on the radio whether I am repeating the same or not. The suggestion was perfectly intelligent. The experiment was done and the doctors were amazed. The bullet has somehow changed his mechanism of the ear. It has become so sensitive that the thought waves, they are passing just here by now from all over the world, from all the radio stations, and it is good that you cannot hear all of them, otherwise you will go insane. So it is a protection. But that man was asking to be helped, otherwise he will go insane. And his ear was operated. Although he became deaf from one ear, but he was happy that the radio station has stopped. But it has given the clue that it is possible not to carry your transistors and keeping close to your ears and moving on the road. Just a small mechanism may be possible soon, which you can fix into your ear. Nobody will know. Just like an earplug. and it may have certain stations on it. Whatever you want to listen, you can listen, and whenever you want to stop, you can take the plug out. The possibility now exists that any day your ears can be made so sensitive. But that man showed another possibility also, that ears are already sensitive. Somehow, just to save your sanity, nature has closed them to subtle vibrations that are passing by. Trees don't have any ears. They feel those vibrations all over their body. Each leaf, each branch, the whole trunk feels it. Don't think that trees are dead. Don't think that you can cut them and you are not harming them. Even when you pluck a flower, you are unaware that you have hurt the tree, you have created a wound in it. And if the mystics had been holding counsel with the trees of the forest, there is nothing to be surprised. The mystics have always been aware that anything that grows is alive, and anything that is alive must have some ways of sensitivity. You try to befriend a tree. Go every day, talk to the tree, sit by the side of the tree, touch the tree the way you will touch your beloved. And within few days you will see a great transformation happening. When you come, even if there is no wind, the tree starts dancing. When you come, the tree releases its fragrance for you. When you touch it, you can feel that it is no more the same feeling of coldness. It is warm. It is welcoming you. In the East, because mystics have been working on every possible mystery for thousands of years, this was the reason why Mahavira and Buddha both said that unless a fruit falls on its own accord, you don't have any right to take it off the tree. That is violence. When it falls on its own accord, it is a gift. The tree is giving you out of abundance. Don't cut a tree. You will be surprised because of this experience of Mahavira. The followers of Mahavira even today don't cultivate. They stopped cultivation completely. Because if you cultivate, you have to cut the trees one day. And that will be great violence. People have laughed about it. And even the Jaina monks have no answers which can convince people. What I am saying is according to my own experience. I have lived with trees and strangely enough, they have a tremendous sensitivity. When I used to teach in the university, there was a long row of a beautiful tree called gulmohar. It has red flowers, and particularly in summer, the flowers are so much that you cannot see the green foliage. It is all red, as if the whole tree is afire. It had a great row, at least 30 trees on both the sides of the road approaching the college. I had chosen one tree which has the biggest shadow, perhaps which was the most senior tree, and I used to park my car there, but I never forgot to touch the tree and to say hello to it, good morning to it, and people thought that man is crazy, saying to the tree good morning, and he never bothers to say good morning to the Vice Chancellor. And the Vice Chancellor's room was very close to the tree. So he used to stand up whenever he heard my car reaching to the tree. He will look and he will giggle in himself that that man is crazy. I wonder what he is teaching to the students. He is saying hello to the tree. He is saying good morning to the tree. And when I pass him on the corridor, I have to say good morning to him. Otherwise, he simply goes on silently. But a strange thing happened. Out of 20 trees, 90 trees died. Certain kind of disease. The only tree that survived was my tree. Even the Vice Chancellor began to think about it, that when all the trees have died and they are just without leaves and without flowers, that would, why that particular tree continues to blossom, grow, has flowers. One day he said to me, I don't believe it, but my wife said to me that it is because that tree has a friend. And just as man cannot live without love, no tree can live without love. He said, I don't believe it. It is all nonsense. It is just a coincidence. What do you think? I said, I cannot say anything about it. It is a secret between me and the tree. Then I resigned. My car stopped coming to the university. For the last time, I said goodbye to the tree. After 1 year, I was in the city and I wanted to see the tree, how it is. And I went there, it was dead. And when the principal heard my car, he could not believe after 1 year why I have come. And I went directly to my tree. I said hello to it. I said good morning to it. But there was nobody to hear, nobody to listen. I touched the tree and felt no vibration, no warmth. The Vice Chancellor was looking from the window. He came out, he stood with me by the side of the tree, and he said, just forgive me. I never believed. Still there is suspicion in me. But the fact is that since you left, that tree started dying. And we cannot understand that it survived for 9 years when the other trees died, and it could not survive even 1 year. Perhaps I am just a suspicious man, but there is something to it. I have to concede, seeing that tree dying every day, I have remembered you. That if anybody can save that tree, it is you. But you were not in the city. For the whole year I was going around the country. I said, I also feel immensely sad. If I had known that the tree would die, I would not have resigned. Just for the sake of the tree, I would have remained in the university. But I was not thinking that she is going to die. Mistakes have been laughed, but remember, slowly, science is coming very close to mysticism. And the last laugh is going to be of the mystics. He sits alone on hilltop and looks down upon our city. True it is that I have climbed the hills and walked in remote places. How could I have seen you save from a great height or a great distance? How can one be indeed near unless he be far? You criticize me, said Al-Mustafa, that I go on the hilltop, far away from the city, and sitting from the hilltop, I look in the valley, all over the city. This is strange. If you want to be acquainted with the city, you should be in the city. You should move in its streets. You should meet the people who live here. Al-Mustafa said, the law of nature is different than you think. Unless you are on a height and a great distance, it is impossible to see the city, to see the people, and to understand the people. This is the difference between a Sigmund Freud and a Gautam Buddha. Sigmund Freud is trying to understand man, living with man in the crowd. Gautam Buddha is also trying to understand man, but from a hilltop. A certain distance and height is needed. Only the higher can understand the lower. Sigmund Freud was a great intellectual, but with the same problem as he was trying to solve for others. Same competitiveness, same idea of greater than you, the same ego. And whenever he found somebody coming very close to him in understanding human psyche, he dropped him from his school. Carl Gustav Jung was thought first that he will be the successor of Sigmund Freud, but he became too close. And sometimes he argued with Sigmund Freud and argued better than Sigmund Freud. That was enough. Sigmund Freud could not tolerate a disciple. He can be dangerous. After him, he was young. Sigmund Freud was getting old. After him, he will turn the whole movement of psychoanalysis in his own direction, not according to Sigmund Freud. It is very strange of people that they want to dominate while they are living. They also want to dominate while they are dead. There is a medical college in England which was founded by a certain man, very rich, and he presided over all the meetings of the medical college, its staff, and he made a will that I will continue to preside even after my death. So my body has to be preserved and kept into the chair of the president. And you will be surprised, it is still there. It seems insanity knows no limits. The man is dead. Has been dead almost for 200 years. Everything from his body has been removed. To preserve it, other chemicals have been filled in the body. A special treatment has been given to his skin. Still he has shrunken, but he is not worried about it. He goes on presiding the meeting. On the president's chair, nobody can sit except him. He is the founder. He has put all his money. Even after death, Sigmund Freud was afraid of Carl Gustav Jung that this man seems to have different ideas and sometimes more important, he expelled him from the movement of psychoanalysis. The man who was going to be the successor was expelled, and he founded another school, analytical psychology. Totally different. moving in a very different direction. Then another man, Alfred Adler, was thought to be a possible candidate to succeed Sigmund Freud, but he had also his own ideas. He was not agreeing with Sigmund Freud that sex is all. He said man's basic thing is will to power. He can sacrifice sex to attain more powerful status. And we know it is a fact. Politicians can renounce sex. Saints can renounce sex. Rich people don't have any time for sex. So instead of sex, he proposed a new psychology based on the will to power. Sigmund Freud expelled him immediately from the movement. He founded another school. This cannot happen with a Gautam Buddha, because the lower cannot understand the higher. And the height was such almost a sunlit mountain top, and the distance was so far away. Nobody even ever asked him, who is going to succeed you? There were many great intellectual followers, and there were even few enlightened followers. But the height of Buddha was such that even the enlightened ones could not think to be his successor. Nobody succeeded him. Nobody succeeded Mahavir. The very question never arose, because nobody reached to that height from where you can see into the very depth of human beings. He is right when he says, true it is that I have climbed the hills and walked in remote places. How could I have seen you save from a great height or a great distance? How can one be indeed near unless he be far? Looks a contradictory statement. It is not. You can be near only unless you are very far. The distance creates a magnetic pull. So you come close once in a while and again you go apart. Your basic reality is far away from each other. But on certain points of love, of friendship, of disciplehood, you can come very close. It is a flexible phenomenon, going far, coming close, and going far again. If any relationship wants to remain always fresh, always young, always new, then man has to learn the secret of flexibility. husband and wife living near and near for years are bound to get bored. The same face, the same geography, the same topography. How long you can go on exploring the same woman or the same man? Unless you are so idiotic that you go on forgetting every day what has happened. Unless you don't have any memory mechanism. And sometimes, even a very intelligent person may not have the memory mechanism functioning well. It is well known about Thomas Alva Edison. He discovered 1,000 inventions. He is unparalleled in the whole history of science. Nobody has been able to surpass in inventions. All that you see is most of them, the electricity, the camera, the tape recorder, the radio, they all have signatures of Thomas Alva Edison. But he had no memory. He has tremendous intelligence, but his memory was almost nil. One day he was working on something so deeply involved that his wife brought his breakfast and put just by his side, not to disturb him, so that whenever his work is finished, he will find the breakfast. Meanwhile, a friend came who saw him so absorbed, thinking not to disturb him, but then he saw the breakfast. So he said, while he is working, I should take the breakfast. So he finished the breakfast, and when Edison was finished with his work, he looked at the friend. He said, when you came? He said, I have just come. And then he looked at the empty plates. He said, you came a little late. I have taken my breakfast. Otherwise, we could have joined together. One day he is going to lecture in a different part of the country in a university. Saying goodbye to his wife, he kissed the maid servant, thinking she is his wife, and waved to the wife. Just in time, his chauffeur interfered. He said, you are missing. You are confusing. You have kissed your maid servant and you are waving to your wife. He said, my God, you should have reminded me first. I am so absorbed in my work. And I see these two women continuously in the house. So many times, I don't remember who is who. It is not the first time. A flexible relationship that you come close and you move away has not been developed. That is one of the misfortunes of humanity. I would like to contribute to the future a concept of flexible relationship. not fixed and dead. Rabindranath, in one of his novels, Aakhri Kavita, the last poem, it is not a book of poetry. It is a novel. Just the name is the last poem. The hero in the novel wants to be married to a very cultured, highly cultured and educated woman, very rich, very beautiful. The woman is willing, but with a condition. And the condition is that she has a big lake just by the side of her palace. The condition is that I will make you another palace on the other side of the lake, miles away. You cannot see from one palace the other palace. I will give you a boat, but we will live in separate houses. And we will never invite each other. We will let it be always accidental. You are boating, I am boating, suddenly we meet in the lake. You have gone for a morning walk, I have gone for a morning walk, suddenly we meet under the trees. But no invitation. This way, our relationship will remain always young, always fresh, always an honeymoon, continuous honeymoon. The man cannot understand. He said, what kind of marriage is this? Unless we live together, this is not marriage. The woman said, then it is up to you. But I cannot live with you because I know living together is going to kill what is most important between us. And I don't want to kill it. Even if you marry someone else, it does not matter. I will remember you in my dreams, in my memories, and those golden moments that have passed between us. But I will not allow a fixed relationship. Rabindranath is giving you the idea of a flexible relationship. In fact, no relationship, but only a love affair that goes on, and you never go to the registrar's office to get married. Unless you are far, you cannot be near. If you remain always far, love will die. If you remain always near, love will die. Love can survive only in a continuous flowing relationship. No bondage, no chains, no imprisonment. I have loved that novel very much. It is not a novel, but perhaps a dream for the future humanity. And others among you called unto me, not in words, and they said, Stranger, Stranger, lover of unreachable heights, why dwell you among the summits where eagles build their nests? Why seek you the unattainable? What storms would you trap in your net? And what vaporous words do you hunt in the sky? Come and be one of us. Descend and appease your hunger with our bread and quench your thirst with our wine. Al-Mustafa is saying, I am grateful for your invitations, but I could not follow them because I know something more than you are aware of. I am in your midst, but I am not one amongst you. Because my search is different. Because my challenge takes me to the heights which are unattainable. Kiko's mother was saying to me, that you have so many women here, and I don't want my daughter also to be just one of them. I said to her, everybody here is an individual. Although living with others, still everyone is alone. Because the very search is inwards. People have come here to meditate. In meditation you are alone. You may be sitting with thousands of people, but the moment you close your eyes and you enter into your own world, you are alone. And my whole effort is to destroy the crowd in you and make you individual. A peak unto yourself. You can confer with other peaks, you can sit with other peaks, you can share with other peaks, but still your aloneness remains pure and virgin. Only a man can be really proud if his aloneness is virgin. Otherwise, he becomes a slave. He becomes a cog in the wheel. And that's my whole fight against the whole world. All the religions have reduced people into crowds. Catholics, Protestants, Hindus, Mohammedans. These are all crowds. My people are not a crowd. Each has his own individuality. That's why I don't give you any discipline. I don't give you any ideal. I don't give you any suds. I only explain to you how to be aware. In your awareness, you will find your suds. You will find your ideal. You will find your path. You will find your goal and your source. But that is going to be individual. The spiritual pilgrimage is a flight from alone to alone. It is not a crowd phenomenon. Religion has nothing to do with the crowds. It is basically and definitively individual. But it is difficult to understand. The woman was so full of Buddhism. She is an expert in tea ceremony. I wondered what kind of tea ceremony she must be performing, because she was so angry. Even talking to me, I was watching her hands. She was making her hands fists, controlling herself as if she is going to hit me. She was distorting her hands, and I always watch the hands, because you are not aware what you are doing with them. But this so basically your innermost being. Your words may be lying, but your hands have not learned yet how to lie. They are more innocent. She was talking to me as if she is very cultured, but her hands were showing her barbarous spirit. In the solitude of their souls, they said these things, but were their solitude deeper, they would have known that I sought but the secret of your joy and your pain. If you have gone deeper in your own solitude, you would have discovered that I am searching not only my source of life, joy and pain, but also the source of your life, joy and pain, because they are not different things. At the source, we are one. Just as in the ocean, all the rivers become one. And have you watched a very strange phenomenon? For millions of years, thousands of great rivers are pouring themselves into the ocean, but they have not been able to take the saltiness of the ocean. They have not been able to make the water sweet. The ocean is so vast that millions of rivers for millions of years have not changed its saltiness even a bit. It remains the same. All those rivers disappear into one source. We are all rivers moving with different pace, moving in different territories, but always moving towards the ocean, where you will become one with the whole, where you will suddenly know that the rivers which were separate from you are no more separate. And I hunted only your larger selves that walk the sky. You are asking me why you go on high tops. What are you searching there in your loneliness? And Al-Mustafa said, and I hunted only your larger selves that walk the sky, because those are mine also. Searching myself, I have been searching you too. But the hunter was also the hunted. This is a very significant statement. J. Krishnamurti, all his life went on repeating only one statement. The observer is the observed. The knower is the known. They are not two. As long as you think they are two, you are in darkness and ignorance. The moment you see that the hunter is also the hunted, that there is no duality between the hunter and the hunted, between the knower and the known, between the observer and the observed, between me and you. The distance is illusory, because in our very source we are one. For many of my arrows left my bow only to seek my own breast. I was thinking of some faraway target, but I found later on that my arrows left my bow only to seek my own breast. I am wandering far just to reach to my home, just to reach where I have always been. So the question of search is basically of awakening. If in the night you sleep and you dream that you are in Rome, and if somebody suddenly wakes you up, are you going to say to him, wait, I have to catch a flight from Rome to Pune? Because right now I am in Rome. No, the moment you are awake, the Rome disappears. You find you are in your bed, in your room, in your house. You have never gone to Rome. And this is our actual situation. We think we have gone somewhere far away from ourselves. No, absolutely no. You are only dreaming that you have gone far away. The moment you wake up, you suddenly find you have always been here and you will always remain here. Here and now is the only existence. There is no other existence. And the flyer was also the creeper. For when my wings were spread in the sun, their shadow upon the earth was a turtle. A beautiful metaphor. When my wings was under the sun, far away in the sky, my shadow was just a turtle on the ground. It was my shadow. However distant it may be, it belonged to me. And the problem is that you have become identified with the turtle, the shadow, and you have forgotten the flyer under the sun, which is your reality. The moment you understand that getting identified with your shadow is the only problem. One day early morning, a fox came out of its hole, very hungry, searching for breakfast. The sun was rising and the fox made such a long shadow that she said, "My God, it seems I need at least one elephant, if not two, for my breakfast." She started searching the elephants, but she was not able to find anything, and it was noontime. The sun was just on the head. She again checked about the shadow. There was no shadow. The shadow was just underneath her, even smaller than her. She said, "What happened? Has hunger reduced me to such a small creature?" Now, even if I can get a rabbit, that will do. It is a parable from Aesop. Aesop has written only parables, but they carry so much meaning that each parable can become a light for you to find yourself. With what you are identified, drop all identification and suddenly you will find your reality. And I, the believer, was also the doubter. People ordinarily divide. They say somebody is a believer and somebody is a doubter. They don't know that how can you believe if you don't doubt? For what you are going to believe if you don't doubt? And what can you doubt if you don't believe? There are two sides of the same coin. Every believer has repressed his doubt by the belief, and every doubter has repressed his belief by his doubt. There is no difference. At the most, the difference that you are standing on your head and somebody is standing on his feet. But what difference? I have heard that the first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, used to do the headstand every day in his park on the lawn. And a donkey was represented and sent with a message by other donkeys, because they said we are a majority and the minority is ruling us. Donkeys in India are 3 times more than men. and most of the men only look like men. They belong to the donkeys. So donkeys were very angry. They had a national conference and they chose the most articulate donkey who was able to speak. And he has become articulate because his master was very addicted to newspapers. So from the very morning he was reading newspapers, and the donkey was also standing by the side. By and by, he also started looking in the newspaper. Slowly, he learned what is in the newspaper. And the master had the habit of not reading silently, but reading loudly. Many people read loudly. Unless they hear it, they don't believe their eyes. So the donkey became by and by almost a scholar. He was chosen to go to Pandit Nehru and tell him that a minority is ruling the country and we donkeys are in the majority. This is not democracy. We demand our rights. There were 2 policemen on the gate, the gatekeepers, but they did not bother about the donkey. If there was some man, they would have stopped him, but it was only a donkey. And if he is enjoying a little walk in the garden, let him enjoy. And they were tired, almost sleepy, whole night standing there. They were just waiting for others to take their place. So the donkey entered and he found Jawaharlal standing on his head. He said to him, "Good morning, sir." Jawaharlal jumped. He has never heard a donkey speak. He looked all around, who is speaking? The donkey said, "Please forgive me. Don't get angry. I am a speaking donkey." Jawaharlal said, "The whole day in the parliament, what do you think? Whom I am dealing with?" And if speaking people behave like donkeys, what is strange in it if a donkey starts speaking? So go on and say, what do you want? He said, we want our basic rights. The Constitution provides, but nobody bothers of our majority. Jawaharlal said, who allowed you in? That this is not the time for me. First you should take the appointment. You disturbed my exercise. He said, I came in front of the eyes of 2 gatekeepers. They did not stop me. Perhaps they thought that what a donkey can do any harm. He cannot assassinate the Prime Minister. He has got no firearms. He is just a poor donkey. But they had no idea that I am a scholar. And if I am not heard, all the donkeys are going on strike. We will block all the roads and all the traffic. And then you will understand. And I am not going to take appointment. You will have to take appointment to meet me. I am going. Goodbye. It is said Nehru was never shocked as much as he was shocked when the donkey started speaking. But what is the difference of people who are able to speak? If their speech is not arising from a deep well of silence, it is just the same as a donkey. Donkeys can be loaded with the Quran and the Bible and the Gita and the Vedas and the Torah, and they can carry all that load. Do you think that will make a donkey a great scholar? But if your head inside is only carrying ideas of others, there is not much difference. The load is in your head, and the load on the donkey is on his back. In fact, he is less loaded than you are. Because on the back there is a limitation, but on your head there is no limitation. Scientists say that a single human brain can contain all the libraries of the world. That much is the capacity of the load that you can carry. The donkey cannot carry all the libraries of the world. Just having a different body, just standing on 2 feet, does not make any basic and fundamental difference. The only difference comes when your still a small voice from within is heard, and that is heard only when mind is completely silent, empty. Right now the mind is full and your heart is empty. The reverse should be the case. Your mind should be empty, a passage, and your heart should be full. The mind should be just a servant to the heart. Then it is a beautiful mechanism, but it has become the master. Then it is a very ugly situation. For often have I put my finger in my own wound, that I might have the greater belief in you and the greater knowledge of you. He is saying, you go on hiding your wounds, but you cannot hide your wounds from me. Often I have put my finger in my own wound to feel how much pain you must be carrying, to know what kind of wound everybody is carrying, and why there should be a wound rather than a flower. The wound is not your destiny, but blossoming in the spring is your destiny. And if it is with this belief and this knowledge that I say, you are not enclosed within your bodies, nor confined to houses or fields, that which is you dwells above the mountain and roves with the wind. With my experience on going to the mountains, to the forests, I can say with certainty that you are not confined to your bodies. Your real being is vast. It can contain the whole sky within it. It is not a thing that crawls into the sun for warmth or digs holes into darkness for safety, but a thing free, a spirit that envelops the earth and moves in the ether. You are nothing but essential freedom. And unless you come to realize it, you have wasted your life. In the East, the best word for the ultimate experience is mukta. And mukta means absolute freedom. Freedom from all fetters. Body, mind, anything that confines heart, prejudice, knowledge, anything that makes a limitation to. Only innocence can be as vast as the sky, because innocence has no limits. If these be vague words, then seek not to clear them. Remember this statement, because mystics are helpless. They can only speak in vague words. Because your words are not capable to express their vast experience. They are too small. Hence they have to use vague words, symbols, metaphors, poetry, parables. If these be vague words, then seek not to clear them. There are thinkers and philosophers who are doing only one work. They try the words of mystics to make clear, solid, but they destroy the mystery. The vagueness of the words has the mystery. Vague and nebulous is the beginning of all things, but not their end. And I fain would have you remember me as a beginning. No true mystic, no true wise man can say, I am the end. He can only say, I am the beginning. Because the end nobody has ever reached. We live in an infinite, in an eternal existence. The end is not possible. Only growth and more growth. You are always coming closer and closer and closer, but you never reach. But the beginning is beautiful. Just as the early morning is beautiful. And wisdom has no sunset. And fain I would have you remember me as a beginning. Life and all that lives is conceived in the mist and not in the crystal. And who knows but a crystal is mist in decay. Remember your mystery. And that is one of the crimes that science is committing. The whole program of scientific knowledge is to know everything and to know it clearly, crystal clear. In another way, it can be said, science is a demystification of existence. But by demystifying existence, it destroys all beauty, all truth, all that is not material. Science is good for the objective world. Religion is mystery, science is demystifying. Avoid your inner experiences to be demystified. Let them remain a mystery, because only as mystery they can breathe, they can expand, they can grow. The moment you demystify them, you kill them. That's why science has not come to the conclusion yet that there is a soul within you. Because they will believe in the soul only if they can find, by dissecting you, cutting you in fragments and catching hold of your soul and bringing it out. Then they will say, yes, there is a soul. But it is as stupid as you take a rose flower to a scientist and you say it is beautiful, and he will say, I will find out. And he takes all the petals out, cuts them, dissects them, and says, I don't see any beauty. By his very dissection, he has destroyed the beauty. By very dissection, he destroys the human soul. Everything that is beautiful, everything that is alive is beyond science. Science ends, religion begins. Al-Mustafa is right. Remember me always as a beginning. It is true about religion itself. It is always a beginning. It is always a sunrise, and there is no sunset.